This young footballer was once one of the most promising stars in the world, but his career was derailed by allegations of rape, assault, and threats to kill. The charges were later dropped, but the damage was done. Greenwood was released by Manchester United and has not played professional football since. In this video, we'll explore the different perspectives on the Mason Greenwood case. We'll ask the question, is he innocent until proven guilty or guilty until proven innocent? We'll also discuss the implications of the case for the future of football. Let's dive in. Mason Greenwood is a 20-year-old English footballer. He was considered to be one of the most promising young players in the world. He was born in Bradford, England in 2001. He joined the Manchester United Academy at the age of 6. He made his first team debut for Manchester United in 2019 and has since scored 20 goals in 49 appearances for the club. If everything was going so well for a player his age, then what led to his demise? Chapter 1. The Allegations. In January 2022, the world of football was shaken when Mason Greenwood, a promising young English forward associated with Manchester United, faced serious allegations that would ultimately shape the trajectory of his career. The allegations were brought to light on January 28, 2022, as his girlfriend Harriet Robson took to social media to reveal disturbing messages and videos that painted a distressing picture. Robson accused Greenwood of not only assault but also threats to kill, sparking a chain of events that would reverberate throughout the sporting community. The situation escalated swiftly, culminating in Greenwood's arrest on January 30, 2022, sending shockwaves through both the football world and his fan base. Just 2 days later, on February 1, 2022, he found himself formally charged with a trifecta of grave offenses: rape, assault, and threats to kill. This shocking turn of events cast a shadow over his promising career and fueled a firestorm of speculation and opinions. However, the narrative took yet another twist. Chapter 2. The Decision to Drop Charges. The Crown Prosecution Service, CPS, decided to drop the charges against Mason Greenwood on February 2, 2023, after reviewing the evidence. The CPS said that the decision was made in accordance with the Code for Crown Prosecutors and that there was not enough evidence to provide a realistic prospect of conviction. The Code for Crown Prosecutors is a set of guidelines that prosecutors must follow when deciding whether or not to charge someone with a crime. The guidelines state that prosecutors must be satisfied that there is a realistic prospect of conviction, that the public interest requires a prosecution, and that the case is not too old or complex to be prosecuted. In the case of Mason Greenwood, the CPS said that they had carefully considered the evidence available, including the accounts of the complainant and the defendant and the medical evidence. They said that they'd also taken into account the views of the complainant and the defendant. The reaction to the CPS's decision was decidedly diverse. On one side, Greenwood's supporters rallied to his defense, vehemently maintaining his innocence. They pointed to his consistent denial of the allegations and highlighted the CPS's determination that the evidence fell short of supporting a viable conviction. This camp also raised concerns about Robson's past history of levying false accusations against former partners. On the opposing end, those critical of the outcome contended that the evidence amassed was robust enough to warrant a conviction. They lambasted the CPS's decision to drop the charges and maintained that Greenwood should face more severe consequences, including a potential ban from football. The implications of the decision are still unclear. It is possible that Greenwood could still face civil or criminal charges in the future. However, it's also possible that the case will be closed. It's important to remember that Greenwood is innocent until proven guilty. The allegations against him are serious and should not be taken lightly. However, the decision by the CPS to drop the charges means that there's not enough evidence to convict him. The case of Mason Greenwood is a reminder of the challenges of prosecuting cases of domestic abuse. Chapter 3. The Return. Now that the charges were dropped, fans started hoping for a return of this star back home. But it's not that simple. Man United can't just go ahead and hire this guy again as much as they might want to. Mason Greenwood is reportedly delighted at the prospect of returning to Manchester United, but the decision is out of manager Erik ten Hag's hands. Greenwood has been suspended by the club since January 2022, even though the charges were dropped, but Greenwood remains suspended by the club as they conduct an internal investigation. It's still very unclear whether Greenwood will be allowed to return to Manchester United. Ten Hag has previously said that the decision will not be made by him, but it is likely that he'll have a say in the matter. The decision of whether or not to allow Greenwood to return to Manchester United is a complex one. There are many factors to consider, including the outcome of the internal investigation, the reaction of fans and sponsors, and the stance of the football authorities. If Greenwood is allowed to return to United, it's likely to be a controversial decision. Some fans and sponsors may be opposed to his return, and the club could face negative publicity. However, the club may also feel that Greenwood is a talented player who deserves a second chance. Ultimately, the decision of whether or not to allow Greenwood to return to Manchester United is a difficult one that will need to be made on a case-by-case basis. The role of Erik ten Hag. Experts say that whether he admits it or not, Erik ten Hag will likely have a say in the matter of Mason's return. Ten Hag has previously said that he's open to the idea of Greenwood returning to the club, but he's also said that he'll need to be convinced that Greenwood is the right fit for the team. Ten Hag will need to weigh the pros and cons of allowing Greenwood to return to the club. On the one hand, Greenwood is a talented player who could be a valuable asset to the team. On the other hand, Greenwood's return could be controversial and damage the club's reputation. Ultimately, the decision of whether or not to allow Greenwood to return to Manchester United is a difficult one that will need to be made by Ten Hag and the club's hierarchy. The public reaction. The public reaction to the possibility of Mason Greenwood returning to Manchester United is likely to be mixed. Some fans will be supportive of Greenwood's return, while others will be opposed. Those who are supportive of Greenwood's return may argue that he's a talented player who deserves a second chance. They may also argue that the charges against him were dropped and that he's innocent until proven guilty. Those who are opposed to Greenwood's return may argue that he's a danger to women and that he should not be allowed to play football again. They may also argue that his return would damage the club's reputation. The public reaction to Greenwood's return is likely to be closely monitored by the club. The club will need to be prepared for both positive and negative reactions. So, which side are you on? Do you think Mason Greenwood is innocent and there's no reason to keep him from playing football? Or do you think that the evidence posted by his girlfriend is proof enough to keep him out of the game for life? Leave your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll catch you in the next one.